I've gotten Lily bags, Chanel bags. I've gotten shoes, like things like that. If the story were, based on my facts, yes, I did get shoes and things like that. I've had my rent paid for a whole year. I've had
everything taken care of from start to finish.
Start to finish.
Okay, so this is our friend Gena. We've known her for about a year.
Yes.
And what do you do right now, Gena?
So I am an aesthetic and wellness coordinator at a med spa. I've been in the med spa industry for about 9-10 years. It all started with, I was working at a private healthcare center and I wanted lip fillers and I wanted facials, and then I was like, fuck, this shit's expensive. I need to work here to get a discount. That's all I really wanted. So I got out of private healthcare and started working for a med spa, basically just for the discounts.
Okay, because that was my next question. I was like, what is aesthetic?
I know aesthetic.
But now you said lip filler, so that's what that is.
Yeah, so aesthetics is anything pretty much based on look, right? And not just body-wise. Like, aesthetics can mean, like, facials, fillers, Botox, anything.
Okay.
Threading, the threaded lifts. We can get rid of, we can lift a face, practically when a facelift.
So that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's so much weight loss, like all of that stuff.
And do you think so that's good money? Like I know a lot of people that do that, but it's good money. Like,
it's super good money.
Good money, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you gotta be a salesman as well.
Yes. So I heard this really funny joke that I saw it on TikTok, that whenever you're looking for a salesperson, you always want to meet their spouse. And it's like, well, why do you want to meet their spouse? If they're nice looking and good looking, it's because you want to hire someone that is good looking with an ugly spouse. And it's like, well, why? Because the person that's hot and has an ugly spouse knows how to close a deal.
Yeah.
The person with the
So
ugly spouse.
No, I'm sorry.
The person with the hot spouse.
The ugly person with a hot spouse
Uh-huh.
can close a deal.
Oh, so if the woman that was getting hired by y'all was ugly but got a hot husband, then she knows how to sell the deal, because how did she get that handsome?
Right.
Well, all I'm saying is I ain't the ugly one, so Joel better look at himself. Oh.
I don't feel like I'm the ugly one either, but I also don't have a spouse, so
And I always say we're the perfect 10 because my wife's tall and skinny and I'm short and round, fat.
But you're not gonna be around for much longer.
Don't tell people.
That's top secret. So Jenna, besides any of that, what else do you dabble in? Because do you make enough money, you think?
I always feel like I never make enough money.
That's the truth.
Because I have a huge shopping problem, which is really bad. Like, I can be on the way home and it takes me 10 minutes to get home from work, and I can be like, I need something from Amazon right now, and it needs to be delivered to my house by 4 a.m.
By the time I get there.
But yeah, so I always want more money, right? So I dabble in content creation, so I'll work with companies like, contract builders, realtors, and I'll do content creation for them, for, their social media. I'll make ads for them, I'll make, TikToks, I'll make whatever they want.
Oh yeah, you made the card where you're at right now, right?
Yeah.
Where are you at right now?
So right now I'm at Origins Med Spa at 281 Bitters, and we do everything: fillers, facials, Botox, all that kind of good stuff.
A little bit of everything.
You were at your other spot, we don't have to say no name, but that's where we met you.
Yes.
And they did everything. So y'all do the same thing over here?
Yes.
Same thing? Okay.
The only thing we don't do is we don't have a chiropractor. We don't do the physical fitness stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I do refer my clients to other clients that I have that are
other
trainers, that I work with, that I love, that are so good, because they're such good. I've known them for, I was at that other place for 5 years, and I built relationships. I made friends. They weren't just clients at that point; they were friends.
Yeah.
So.
But I think that's what every job is. You always got to make a contact. You always got to make an outside thing, because that's just part of growing. In every establishment, everything you do, you got to have.
It's all about connections.
Yeah. Who you know, when you know, and when you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, and you got to footprint that they need to remember you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, you're gonna put an imprint, and we're gonna remember you.
Right.
But it's funny because a lot of people are not born with that, and I think that goes into something else. So, you make a lot of contacts. When do you think you realize? At what age do you remember thinking I need to know this person so I can get this?
I think that was always instilled in me growing up with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad. So everyone always asks, "What does your dad do for work?" And I'm like, I have no idea. And they're like, "How do you not know what your dad does for work?" I'm like, no, I literally don't know what my dad does for work. But what I learned from my dad is like, my dad doesn't know a stranger. So anywhere you go, you need to make a contact with that person. Whether it's, you know, hey, I'm going to the Hano Fan Fair and you meet someone there, or you go to the country club and you're playing golf, you meet someone there. You know, make friends with the caddy, you make friends with the bartender, you make friends with everybody,
It's
right?
a good network.
Because you never know who that person knows.
Yes.
So I think growing up, that was always instilled in me.
Okay.
And I mean, I remember from a young age, like, just that's what I remember.
You've never wanted to ask him what he does? You're not curious at all?
Well, like, I've asked, and he's like, oh, I'm like in industrial construction.
Well, what if he's a developer?
I mean, I don't think he's a developer. I don't know.
I would want to know, because like you speak highly of your dad, and it's kind of like, well, dang, I see daddy makes money. Like, I would want to know what daddy does, because I'd probably want to repeat it. Like, if he's good at making relationships and you're good at building relationships and knowing your customer, then shoot, I would want to know.
So I think what he does is he's like some sort of safety manager. Because I know at one point, like, he was going to all the different plants, because we're from around the Victoria area.
Oh.
So he goes to all around the different plants, making sure they are following all the safety regulations.
Oh, so like some kind of OSHA inspector or
yeah.
something. Maybe he can't tell you who he is.
Oh,
So
because he's
I
the
know-
undercover.
I
And
know
because
the
he knows you
company.
know a lot of people, he don't want you to know nobody.
So what the one thing my dad says whenever he introduces me to someone is, don't let her talk to you, because she will take all your money before you know it.
Yikes.
Okay, because I'm like, we were literally, I don't know what I brought my wife in there for what.
We were talking about
was
that.
like slam. I'm like, how did we come to the register and spend this much money? Like,
Jenna's a good salesperson.
yeah, what? Because you got like two techniques. I feel like number one.
So what do you think my techniques are? Because everyone always asks me, like, how do you do it? And honestly, to me, I don't know how I do it, because it comes naturally to me. Like,
Because you don't even ask for this, so you do what they teach us in when I
You do,
jobs.
yeah. Like,
so,
like
so to preface, I've never been to
A seminar,
like a seminar on sales, like nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been to anything like that before.
They tell us not, don't judge the customer on your pocket. You don't know how much money they got, so don't assume that. Okay, so like in the airlines industry is where I used to work, and
Right,
like they say,
right.
start pricing them at first class. Don't start pricing them at economy, and then they'll be like, no, I was looking for something cheaper, and I'm like, but that thing was $8,000. And they're like, you don't know their pocket.
Right.
Quit assuming.
You don't.
You don't assume. Like, you're like, okay, let's get you for 3 months. Boom, right? And you're putting us in the corner, which is okay, because you know what? You're right. I don't want to come back. I don't want to have to call you. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna miss a week on these shots. Like you don't assume. You just put it, and then you also like build it up. Like, well, if you really want that to enhance, you need this, this, and this. Like, you're educating us at the same time, but you're also making sure we don't have to come back.
I feel like that's the biggest sales point, is the education, right? And selling, to me, is education. Educate your client on whatever, not just aesthetics, like whatever you're selling, like educate them. Like, oh, you want to go with this because this is going to be the best outcome for you, for your lifestyle. So know your client, right?
Yeah.
No matter what industry you're in. But two is personal experience. So I never recommend anything that I haven't done myself.
Yeah.
So I think personal experience is a big thing.
Jenna,
Yeah.
you're making me want to buy something right now. And
I know.
what I
I'm
want.
just like, well, right now I'm broke though. But yeah, like it's crazy, because we were talking to each other about that. I'm just like, well, she does. I didn't expect to go spend this much money, you know. But when you sit back and you think about it, that's what they teach you. Like, this is how they teach the people to sell. They're just like, hey, don't ask for the sell. They tell, oh, that's what it is. Oh, so you think you want to move forward? You don't say that. You say, and what credit card would you like to put that on? That's exactly what you do, right? She's just like, all right, it's gonna be ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, oh shoot, I thought it was $500. Well, this is 3 months. Okay.
Like, you just convince yourself.
Yeah.
Great. Can you go ahead and sign right here for me?
Yeah. I'm
That's
just like,
perfect.
dang, and then you're just like, what's the happened?
So
Yeah.
when you meet all these people, I know when we were talking, like, because it's such a big industry. Like, a lot of people come in, a lot of like, you see, because I think the name of the place kind of confused a lot of people, and they said like there was a lot of issues with other people coming in and being like, their wives coming in and being like, why did so and so come and spend this much money here?
Right.
So when you see that, do you ever think like, this is mistake number one? Like, y'all should have Like, you know the game. You know what I mean? So you, like, I know the game. Like, I know I'm not, like, I ain't gonna tell them to do that. What do you think they're missing there?
I don't know. I think they're just not. First of all, if you're looking at what your spouse is spending and where they're spending it at, like
There's already an issue.
That's y'all's problem. Like, I don't know, sir. I don't know, ma'am. I don't know.
Well, what is the craziest thing that anyone has ever came and like said? Like they want to pull like a record or they want to do something?
Oh, I've had people come in and be like, I want to speak to the owner. I want to know what this is. I want this, this, and this. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I just answered the phones and I really just work here, so I can't help you
she
with
plays
that.
dumb. That's very good, because just think about like guys that have different women and they're paying for their services, and it's not the spouse that's getting Botox. It's not the wife that's getting the skinny shot. Like, and if it's not the husband getting it, then who the heck is getting these charges, right? And then they're gonna look at who works it.
I've had a client have his wife and side girl in the office at the same time,
And they not even
And they didn't know.
and they didn't know.
And you just use the same card.
They just gave you the look.
Yeah,
Or did y'all
it's
know?
like an unspoken rule.
Did they know? Was the guy there?
Yeah.
The guy was there, and he like I mean, I'm sure the girl, the side piece had to have known.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but she's like, I'm doing mine.
But
so I
the
ain't even
side
worried
piece
about
needs
it.
to know.
She knows her role.
She's getting all of it, so
Yeah.
it's like,
We both put our hats
I'm
on.
like,
No, but then I went to a birthday party for this person, and they were
Which
both
one?
there too.
oh wow.
So I'm like, did y'all know? Like, do you know?
Is it like an unspoken agreement?
I don't know.
I kind of feel like, and remember we did that comedy show. That's where we met last year. And I was almost gonna say the name, but there was a comedian that was talking about the husband. Like, oh my God, I'm so mad with the pandemic because my husband wants to do it all the time. Like, I want to go right the sunshine, tell her to come back, because some women are okay with that side woman because they don't have to do every night if he's hungry for it. They don't have to put up with him, and they don't have to do the dates. Like, pay the bills, leave me at home, do what you do with that one woman or how many.
And there are some people like that.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
some wives
they're
appreciate
fine with it,
Yeah.
and okay, to each his own. Like, whatever. Like, none of
That's
my
your thing.
business.
Yeah, that's your
Just
thing.
whose card is it gonna go on?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I gotta know.
And I would have been like,
whose
and I
card?
need a nice tip because I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that does happen.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
they
'cause I'll
just
be
like,
okay,
Mhm.
gonna put 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Got
That's
it.
good. Okay, so I see how y'all make money with it.
I get
That's
it now.
good. Yeah, because you
And
keep secrets.
when it came to that, it was like cash is free.
Ah.
Cash tips are free.
Why is
Yeah.
it? Because the company gets into your tips as well, or not?
Yes.
Oh wow,
So any place you go that you do an electronic tip, the company gets a cut of that
I didn't know that.
because they take taxes out of it.
Okay.
Well, not. I guess the company doesn't
gets
get a cut.
reported to
It
you.
gets reported. So plus the whoever you're tipping has to wait for that tip. So they don't get that tip that day. So let's say you tip someone, you get a service, and you tip that person, you know, with your credit card on the bill while you're paying. That person has to wait till either whatever their payment arrangement is with the company, as far as like commission, tips, whatever. Like they either have to wait till the end of the month, or they have to wait till they get their paycheck.
So
and
what
then
was
their
the
tips
biggest?
get taxed.
What was the biggest tip you've ever got?
The biggest tip I ever got was $379.
How much?
$379.
How much? 379, and that's there or somewhere else?
That was at the current place I'm at.
Oh, right now, so the new spot, you're already okay. I
You're
see.
already making that money.
Yeah. And was that one of your customers from the previous place? Because they're your customers. It don't matter where you're at. But it was already, or is it a new customer?
That I can't say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are what like the other stuff we talked about? I don't know. I don't want to say that. Can we say it? Like the sugar baby stuff. Like what is that like? Like I'm so curious. Like I'm dead curious about it because I can't fathom thinking. I can't think in my head. Like I can't process it. Me just handing over money, but I've seen it. I've seen like I've seen it. I've been around it where guys like just willingly want to like they will stay broke to help you.
Yeah.
And why do you think that? Like when
So I think it boils down to, and again, growing up, I saw this a lot with my dad. You know, going to business dinners. Not my dad. I mean, I know if my dad never did.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's companionship. Hey, I have this event. Can you come with me? And I think it's because they just want some. It starts off by they want companionship because they want to show that they have someone
of this statue,
you know, to bring along on a business.
Wait, hold on. What is this conversation? You said your dad. What? So you're saying your dad went with women, or what are you saying?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's you know, my dad would go. We'd go with my dad to like these things.
You and your mom, like
yeah, me and my mom.
Oh, okay.
But there'd be other people there,
and you started picking up on that.
Yeah, I picked up on that from a really young age.
Like single men,
yes.
without anybody.
Without anybody, they would always have
this
a
beautiful,
gorgeous date, and I'm like, how did you get that date?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, you know, your wheels start turning.
Yeah.
And then you go to college. And then, you know, you start your life as an adult. And it's like...
You start seeing, like...
You put things
two
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot. I was having a conversation with Cece about... but I don't see that from here. Like, once you start talking about it, you start seeing it, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I was working at the airlines, and we can fly very, very cheap internationally. And some of these older, big, boring men... have these young Asian women, you know, like they were bringing them over and stuff, and I'm just like, what? And to me, it's just crazy because obviously they want to come to America. Number one, number two, it's cheap, and then no offense, but it's just like, who's going to touch you?
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I felt. So now when you're saying it in America and how it is, like, they're just boring, they want companionship. And to be honest, these are businessmen. So they
right.
probably don't want to go home to somebody nagging.
Right.
They don't want somebody all up in their business. So it's like, look, let me pay you for a service and let's get it done.
Right.
Right?
But it's not even sexual. Because that's one thing I spoke to a lot of other people. And, you know, one girl said, like, she was like, I didn't even meet the guy. Like, I would just text him and be like, oh, like we would text back and forth.
Right, they just want the companionship.
Yeah, like just to text
a lot of these business guys, you know, whether they have wives or not, when they travel for business a lot, so they want to be talking to somebody, right?
Yeah, they don't want to hear the complaining.
They don't want to hear the complaining. Oh, I'm, you know, I can't talk right now. I'm putting the kids to bed, or I'm trying to make dinner for the kids. I'm getting the kids to the practice. I'm getting the kids in the bath, like whatever. They want to talk to somebody, like just.
Johnny
it's kind of like, why do strip clubs exist?
Exactly.
For that moment, you're enjoying drinks with your friends. You may be enjoying a dance. I don't know about anybody else, not me. But you're just zoned out for a minute. You don't have the kids. You don't have the wife nagging. You're not thinking about work. You're just like, you know, and it doesn't even have to be a touchy-touchy. It doesn't have to be a nothing.
No.
You know, and it's for anything. It's a transaction.
So
right.
So like,
and if that girl is smart, she uses that connection for future business.
You see, and that's a difference. So like a lot of times, a lot of people we say like, and this is like going on to something else, but like the whole sugar baby, I think it's all a game. Like people can like they play it well to their benefit, or they can play it and just burn it out, just like the stripper game, right? Mm-hmm. So like when you were like the little things that like you're telling me and stuff, I'm trying to think in my head like, what when the first time did someone approach you, or like it just happened and you were like, oh shit, like did you even realize it happened?
I was approached and I didn't even realize what it was.
Yeah.
And transactional details were never even discussed. Like I didn't even know that was what it was. I didn't know that was what was going on. It was just like, hey, I have this thing coming up for work. You want to come with me? Yeah, sure. Like I don't have anything
free
to
dinner.
do.
Why not?
Free dinner. Fuck yeah. Like I like steak.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. And then it's like at the end of the night, it's like, oh, here's $600 or. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
And you got milk.
I gotta stay.
And how long ago was this, Jen? Like, when was the first time? Like, you can go back and remember.
Probably 11 years.
Wow, $600. That's 11 years old.
And okay, and I'm saying, okay, you didn't expect anything.
I didn't. I expected nothing. I thought this was just the person that I met through work at the time, mm-hmm. and I thought it was just, you know, we were friends, so I thought it was just, hey, you want to come with me to like dinner?
Were they married?
They were not married.
And then after that, like, how did it just keep on going?
It just kept going. Like, hey, I have this event here. This weekend is the PGA tournament or the Valero, whatever comes to San Antonio, like it's the Valero Open. Do you want to accompany me to that? Do you want to do this? And then I knew that it was like
I'm getting paid.
Hey, I got paid for going to dinner at Fleming's or Myron's or whatever. What am I gonna get for this? Like, Cool.
Yeah.
And
how did when that happens, then like after that, like what I mean, obviously, like it becomes a negotiation. Like,
right.
because you're a good salesperson at the end of the
okay,
day. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, like you're a good salesperson. So off the back, like you were like, okay, this is like that was your, and it sounds crazy, but like that like okay, like I ain't taking them less than 6. You already gave me this, like
right, like
you
you
set the standard.
You set the standard, and that was for a 3-hour dinner.
That's what was my next question was, how long was it? Because I'm calculating per hour. I'm like, and was he older?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
An older, prominent business person.
Wow. And you're right. Keep those connections because you never know. Like, what if when you want to open your own salon?
Exactly.
Now you got your book of funds, of funding. You're building your funding network. I'm like me just thinking as a business
I
person.
have talked to people like, hey, I not necessarily want to go out on my own, but I want to invest in good things, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to buy this for my clinic now. I need to talk to someone that's could potentially invest in me, who I've built a relationship with, or can put me in contact with someone that they know that would be willing.
And have you ever gotten a crazy one like that's like trying to take it to the next level? And you're
oh yeah, and I'm like, you can stop right there, and then you just block them and
like call it a day.
Yeah, call it a day.
But do they go further sometimes?
They try to, and if I was interested in the person, sure.
Yeah.
But
most of the time, like,
they're not nice looking. What about, have you ever tried OnlyFans?
No.
What is OnlyFans?
I know a lot of people that have done it, but like to me, I'm like,
no. Well, I'm telling you, I don't want to say what family member or whatever, but was saying that they took pictures of their feet and like put it on there. And then
I've heard that like people will take pictures of their feet.
I have an answer.
We have an audience member with an answer.
It's different for everybody. Some people have fetishes, OnlyFans for like if it's a feet fetish. So I know a friend who has an OnlyFans page and she doesn't show her face, but they send out videos and the fans request what they want and they send her money and she sends pictures off of that fans of what they want to see.
That's what I told you. That was the other person.
So maybe we should start. This is off the.
But you can do an OnlyFans page for anything.
Studio, but we just do that.
Do what?
Set up girls to do little OnlyFans.
Now you're trying to be a pimp.
But OnlyFans isn't just it's not just movies.
It's like me saying import export.
Yeah. Okay. But no. So I'm super curious, and it's because like a lot of people don't get it. Like it's simple stuff. Like even sometimes like me and Joel go through the drive-thru, right? And we'll be going through the drive-thru, and Joel's like oblivious to the whole thing. Like the girl's like openly flirting with him. Like she's just like, and I'm looking. I'm like, brother, give him your number. Like I'm not like if they're gonna give it to you, like take. And he looks at me like, you were crazy. But it's just because, and then I always think in my past life I might have been something that I shouldn't be talking about right now. So when you say that, like I get it, like I hear what you're saying. I just don't know how you. I guess like they approach you, you approach them. What do you do to get there?
So it started with them approaching me, and honestly, like it only happened a few times because then I had kids and
Life goes on.
I got to where I wanted to be, and I didn't need that type of relationship anymore because I got into a position where I was making $14,000 a month.
Whew.
And part of it was thanks to Chris here, because she did purchase quite a few things from me. So.
And I told you I was gonna bring you my wife. I said my wife is gonna love this place because
And she did.
Yes, and I know she would spend a lot more, but it was just like, oh my god, we got some goals we gotta achieve and do. But
we need groceries this
I'm
week.
just like, how we gonna get home? But no, I get it. I see it. I think I see it because I work with a lot of men. And to be honest, like when I used to be in the mortgage world, I used to work for a very big bank, and when we would take trips, these guys would come and bring me their laptops and their wallets, and they're like, hey, I got somebody coming to my room. And I'm like, what? And they love the opposite of what their wife is. When I seen the person walking down the hall because he had to meet in the bar that we're in the hotel room, and this is a winter storm in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that does not look
like
anything, not the race, not the size, not the style. Like it's one that would be textbook like teacher and one is the hood. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm like, is this what you ordered or did they
Mess up your order.
did
Did
what do
you
you call it,
order
catfish
this,
you?
or did we serve this to the wrong
Yeah,
table?
like,
And
did they
that-
catfish you?
That's another thing that I was gonna ask. So is there like there's not a like there's not a picture perfect person, like there's not an outline like this is a sugar baby, like this is what a sugar baby looks like, because
Right.
it just depends on what the guy's looking for.
Like, it could literally be anybody. It can be anybody.
Wow.
So you
And
don't
how-
have a chance.
So you're telling no.
I got a chance.
But okay, so what, since you don't do it anymore, or I don't know, but what's the highest that cash and tell me how much cash is the most, as in tip or date, and then after that tell me monetary items.
So, monetary items, I've gotten Louis bags, Chanel bags, I've gotten shoes, like things like
Expensive
that.
shoes.
If the story were, based on my facts, yes, I did get shoes and things like that. I've had my rent paid for a whole year. I've had
Everything taken
Everything.
care from start to finish.
start to finish.
And do you think sometimes like when you cut them off, do they ever feel like you're gonna go and like expose them, or has that ever?
I've never cut anyone off. Like, I've never burned a bridge. It was just kind of like, hey, you know what, like,
It's not working
Stop.
anymore.
this, I'm really busy, I have kids, like, my job, like, I don't have time for this right now, but I would love to still remain friends with you, or,
Yeah.
it's never been like, this is over, it's it, I'm done. It's
Yeah.
never been like that. So I don't burn a bridge that way. It just kind of,
Just ends.
it just kind of ends.
You just tell it like it is, and that's it. Okay.
And then how does it work? Like you just call them and just be like, hey, you know what, I want this today, or like when they call you, or how do you ask somebody?
Like, how do they know what type of person to get you? Are you like, when you're on dates, you talk about things and you learn your style, or do you
Yes.
Drop
send
a
them
hint?
pictures?
I've
or-
never like, and I've never done this to anybody that I've ever been with, like boyfriend wise, anything, like text picture, I want this, buy this for me. I'm not
Yeah.
that person. So
It's just
Well,
Well,
I'm
it's
not
my
saying you're
style.
gonna ask straight out, but you know how girls are. Be like, this, you think this looks cute? Trying to drop it.
yeah, I mean, that I have done. Like,
Okay.
oh, this is super cute, or look, I was looking at this
Mhm.
today. Like that, yes, I've
Okay.
done. But
Yeah.
I've never been like, you need to buy me this first, or we're not going out on this date.
Okay.
Ah,
But most men that are paying for a date, they love to buy gifts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
like,
their thing.
Yeah, like they don't want to just show off. But look, they want to see your face. They want to see you enjoy it. It's just like, I hate to say this word, but I say it a lot. They get off on that.
they do.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so there's this other thing that I heard of recently. So about fetishes, we're talking about people with fetishes. So financial domination fetish. So people get off, from what I've heard about this fetish, of you being mean to them, and they
Oh,
pay you for it. Like, I'm like, what? Like, you want me to be rude to you?
You want me to
I'll be fucking rude to you all
All
day
day.
long. I will
Yeah.
call you a bald headed motherfucker. Like,
Or it's just like people pay you to pee on them. Like,
It's just a weird fetish.
It's just the world.
people are weird.
Yeah.
Like, people are weird. And if that's what you like, you want me to be mean to you and be like, what the fuck do you want right now? Like, I'm working. What do you want? You want me to talk to you like that? I'll talk to you like that.
And do
Are
some
you
of them
fucking
like
making up
that?
money?
Yeah. No, they love that. That's what their fetish
That's
is.
what she's saying. Like, some people will pay for her to talk.
But do you
more.
have anyone like that?
Oh no, I don't have anyone. This
Did
is
you
just
ever?
something.
No?
This is just something that I recently heard of that was a fetish.
So Jenna, if you could say one thing that each one of these people that you've come into your life have in common, like, because there has to be something like that in their like their habits, or their something that
Maybe their job,
Yeah,
like they're all kind of
something.
the same, or if they drive, or
yeah, like,
I would have to say the things that they have in common are business professionals.
Mhm.
And I think at some point in their life, there was some sort of rejection that happened. And that's
that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's
what
like,
She just analyzing. She's not saying they told her.
no, yeah, they didn't tell me these
Yeah.
things, but
you can tell.
I can tell that there was some sort of like rejection, some sort of trauma at some point. Like, maybe they got rejected by the prom queen in high school. Maybe they grew up, being the nerdy kid in school and not being the quarterback who dated the cheerleader. Like,
And now they're fulfilling
and
it.
now they are in a position where they're financially stable, they have a great job, you know, maybe they worked off that dad bod and they're physically fit now and they want to show the world that, hey,
They got it.
I got it now.
Yeah.
And
like,
just some,
I'm not declined by these people.
Yeah.
do some of these men not just men, do you ever have women?
No, I've never had a woman.
You've never had a woman just like fantasize about you and just be like, because that's like
Not that I know of.
No, like approach you, like just like
No.
try. Okay, well that goes that question.
I have a two-part question. All of them that you've encountered, were any of them married? And maybe the second part is if they weren't married, maybe a thing that they all have in common is they were scared of commitment.
I don't know if they were scared of commitment, and I don't think any of them were married, unless they lied to me about it. But I always look at their ring finger for
The
a tan
indention.
line.
And there's an indention.
So none of them that they've never openly said they're married.
Right.
So that's a
Plus, I always
Like-
background check.
yes, that's what I was gonna say. So if they are married, this is their escape.
Yes.
Right.
But if they're not married, like she said, they're businessmen, so they're always busy. You don't have time for a relationship.
You just want
Like,
somebody.
you
Right.
really,
If you're going, you know, this week I gotta be in New York, this week I gotta be in Miami, this week I gotta be here, this week I gotta be there. Like, you don't have time for that stability of
You don't.
what people want these days.
Mm-hmm.
And and I always say, right now, like this generation, it's so rare to have people that are like a couple that, you know, you come home, you make dinner for your husband, and you get the kids ready, and, you know, that doesn't happen anymore. And that sucks. Like, I feel so bad for this generation.
Like, nobody's like a little happy family.
No.
more. And if you playing the part, you're all on your phones.
Yeah.
Like, me and my wife would go to restaurants and, I always put my phone down because if I see the text, I keep it on silent because it goes ding, 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 ding. You know, it's not that I'm hiding anything. I keep it down and I'm just telling her, hey, I'm not going to look at it, but I am expecting a very important call from the title company. And, like, if she'll go to the restroom, I'll just look, okay, they didn't call, whatever. Or if she's waiting on a call from a doctor or whatever, she's like, I'm going to answer it. It's them. I'm like, cool. But otherwise, we put it away. But it's sad because we look around. And it's everybody from the kid, not even communicating with the parent.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I think it's horrible.
So do you think that's part of it? Like the men are just like, it's almost like it's accessible to them. It's like a service.
Easy. It's easy.
Yeah,
for them.
it's something that they're paying for. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean and they're paying for your time. So it's not like there's anything else that's going on.
Right.
It's just your time.
Right.
And your
Now,
conversation.
if I wanted it to go further,
That's
sure,
it.
I'd push it. But that's
And is that more or that's on you?
That's on me, but I will tell you.
She knows it's gonna lead to
I
more.
know what it would lead to, right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
but that would be my decision, and it's never been where negotiations were set. Like, okay, this is what our terms are. You're gonna go out with me. You're gonna have sex with me. This is what I'm gonna pay you. It's not like that.
It's never been that.
It's never been like that.
But they know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what kind of conversations would you have? Because obviously dinner's gonna be at least 2 hours.
Yeah, it's, you know, if it's not a business thing that we're at and it's just a
y'all?
dinner,
Uh-huh.
it's like, you know, what do you do for work? Like, what do you like? What are your hobbies? What is this? What is that? Or you know, you conversate just like any date. Like, you know,
You're not on your phone.
No, you're not.
But
on
if
your
it's
phone.
like your multiple, like say it's your sixth time on a date alone with that person, like how far is this conversation? Like, do they really want to get to know you, or you're just talking about, you know, I don't know, because this person is escaping their life from
Their
business
reality.
and the
Right.
reality.
So that type of, you know, meeting, if it's like the sixth time, like they're more interested in like, hey, what happened in your day today? Or they want you to ask them what happened in their day.
They want to play husband wife.
Right.
Wow.
They want to play like we're a real couple.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hey, let's just talk about our day. Like, what happened? You know, did you have any funny stories from the day? Did you have any hard times? Like,
She's on Google it.
I know, I'm like,
I saw a cat that ate a dog. Like, I don't know, you know.
So do y'all like text back and forth, or is just like they just text you when it's date time, or are y'all like constant in communication or anything?
It would be more like, hey, how was your day? Just checking in, blah blah blah. And then if they had something coming up that they wanted to do,
It's like book.
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, I don't know what I was gonna think. I think it's cool. I'm just saying it's interesting.
Not you trying to explain yourself.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, it's just because, okay, what are the common arguments between spouses? It's like, well, why aren't you calling me all day? Why aren't you texting me all day? What were you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, where'd you
And
go eat?
I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty of that. Like,
So you tell them sometimes?
no, not
okay.
no. In a relationship,
Yeah.
like I'm super guilty
Mm-hmm.
of being like, well, you didn't text me all day. You didn't even text me good morning, or like this. Like it's been such and such hours since I heard from you. Like,
What have you been doing?
what have you been doing?
Mm-hmm. And that's why they go this route instead,
Yes.
because nobody wants somebody like, let me do my job.
Yeah.
Like my wife is good at that, but like yesterday, like we didn't even talk all day.
Yeah.
And today I called her when we went to Chipotle because I'm like, look, babe, I was ordering, I was talking to the guys, and I don't want to be disrespectful, like talking to people and barely had time to talk to. I said, let me call you in 20 minutes because we're ordering or whatever. But she knows, no, don't worry about it. Do what you do. You're there to network,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's what that is with the businessmen. Like they're busy networking. Yesterday I was there like 9 a.m. to dinner, 9 p.m. No time to text, no time to call, like nothing. And those businessmen just want a good conversation, good people, and they want you to look amazing, be young, whatever. Because, like you said, maybe they've had somebody been like, you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then now they're like, yeah, me. You know?
I
So
got you.
I get it.
I don't know, Chris. I'm just kind of. What would you tell a young person like? Because there's a lot of sugar babies out there. Like there's a lot. It's not.
But I also think there's a lot of sugar babies out there that are the type they're like, give me the money.
Yes, that's
Give
what I
me
was just
this.
gonna say.
This is what I want. Give me this. Give me that. Give me that.
Yeah.
I want this. And they're dating these 80-year-old men, and you know it's obvious that they are a sugar baby. You know, like.
Yeah.
Which, hey, that's your prerogative. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at you. I don't care.
That's
what
your
you
thing.
like.
That's your thing. Yeah. But what like there's not an app. There's not something they go on. There's not something.
There is.
Oh, wow. There is an app.
There's an app to
There are
connect?
several apps.
Have you ever tried it?
I tried it once.
Mhm.
It wasn't for me.
No.
It wasn't for me.
What did you get out of it?
Why wasn't
You
it?
get a bunch of weirdos.
Mm.
You get a bunch of weirdos. Like I would get messages like, can we meet up? I just want to snort a line of cocaine off your boobs.
Wow.
So was it the cocaine part?
Well, it was more like the I'll pay you $100 part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You should have started
Like-
with
No.
Yeah.
that. No, you got money for the cocaine. You got money for
For the-
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, or share. Like, come on. Like, like what? Look, Pablo. If you have money for the cocaine, like you
Yeah.
have money to spend for more than
No,
$100
Pablo,
to meet
that's
up.
cool.
Like,
And so what you know, like what is the strangest, without saying their names of course, like what is the least person you would think is like a sugar daddy? Like have you ever, like, because you ask them like a preacher, like somebody, you're like, what? Like,
No profession.
yeah, what's their profession? Like you're like, oh wait a minute.
profession-wise, I think it was a dentist.
Wow.
That just didn't seem like that would be his thing.
Mm.
Like he just like, and you were, how did you meet? Like when y'all met, like did you go in for just like with
No, we met on social media. He started
Wow.
following me on social media. Like, just randomly. Like, I don't know if he was trying to grow his business. I don't know, like,
What
we
the deal?
met under his business
Mm-hmm.
social media account on Instagram.
Wow.
Wow. And I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked because, quick story, but I was in the Dominican and I posted a picture of me and the wife and I checked into the hotel. Less than 10 minutes later, I had a Dominican in my inbox.
A
A
woman?
guy, and I'm looking like this with the hat backwards and some swimming trunks and stuff, and he's like, "Hola, mommy, what are you doing here?" We're here with my wife. Are y'all married? Like, the next
I
question
just
is,
said
do you have?
wife.
Yeah, he's like, but to them it's like, are you legally married? Like, they still want to
Yeah.
know, and I'm like, how quick? Just off of hashtags, just off of check-ins, like. I was just amazed.
Social media is powerful. Like, it's really, really powerful. You don't know.
Who's gonna get in there?
Yeah.
Have you ever been, Jenna, like in a position where like you go somewhere with one of your like they're one of your friends, because like you said they become relation, and another one of them show up with someone else?
Oh.
No.
No. So
Or
they're
like an event because someone probably did the
Yeah,
same job.
that's to me that I know other
Not
girls
purposely.
that's happened to, but
so you know
I've
other
never
girls that
done
have done it.
That was
oh
me.
yeah,
You know a lot of other
That's
girls
some of your friends?
I know other girls that have done it
that are still doing it.
the wrong way, like the way that I was saying, like they're like, I want this, I want that, I want you to pay my rent, I want you to do this.
Not you making an ebook.
I know.
I was like, you should do a course.
Yes.
Look, if you really want, this is what I would do.
These
I
are
would
the do's and
hashtag.
don'ts.
I would. These are the do's. This is not. Hey, people pay for stuff all the time. Just think about that. Or a book.
But you gotta tell us
That's
one
a
of.
great idea.
I know you gotta tell us one of your craziest stories. Like,
One of my craziest stories. Well, they've all been. I mean, most of them have been pretty professional. I think the weirdest one was that guy that was like, "I'll pay $100."
Yeah.
no. What I mean is like the weirdest stories. Like when you were not expecting it. Like he was just like, oh, like you said, I'm gonna pay your rent for the whole year. You're like, oh shit, like.
Yeah. How
like,
did that happen?
Yeah, like where did that come from? Like he just.
That was just I was going through a hard time at the time. I had, you know, I was a single mom. My daughter was 3 years old, and it was like, you know, I was not making enough money, and you know, I told the guy like, hey,
Like right now's not a good time.
right now's not a good time. Like I really have to focus on my work because you know I gotta. He was like, you know what, don't even worry about it. I got it.
And just like ask you what apartment or
Yeah.
what house. and-
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. That's
And so when gifts come, like do you feel like do they bring them to you? Do they mail them to you? Do they drop them off?
Most of the time they're mailed.
well, because now everybody ships stuff.
Yeah.
And you give them your personal address or a PO box or what?
PO box.
Okay, that's
Oh,
cool.
that's what's fun.
I mean, unless it's somebody that like I'm cool with,
Mhm.
which most of these guys, like I said, I vet.
Yeah.
I do a lot of research on. Are there people that I've met
That you've
through
known.
other people that I've known, and I know they're cool. I know they're okay, so I'm not like afraid.
Does anyone refer you to a friend or something like that?
I have had one
Mhm.
that says like, "Hey, my friend has this thing coming up, and it's for business. Do you want to go to dinner with him?"
That's cool.
Okay, but again, like for me personally, I use it as business connections.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
Because
don't.
you don't know who you're gonna meet there at
Right,
that
you
event.
don't know exactly. You don't know who you're gonna meet at that event.
Yeah. And I would take it the same way. Like I'm going, and you know, I hear a lot of people like it's like oh, it's frowned upon. No, because like shit, it takes a lot to you. I mean, you look really good. You have 2 kids, like you said. Like you know, you look good for you. It takes a lot to take care of yourself. So you're not just doing it just to like
And it takes a
Oh.
lot to get ready for a date.
yeah, and to buy an outfit and to
Yeah,
look what they.
and then how
and then-
many of us get all fixed up to go on a date with their husband or wife?
This is about as good as it is.
Exactly what
Oh,
I'm saying.
my
So
goodness.
they are paying for a service, a transaction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to get dolled up. Nobody wants to go and flat iron. Nobody wants to put on a dress or a skirt or whatever
Makeup,
it is.
and then walk in heels for like I don't know how many
Yeah.
hours, and then smile at people and shake hands with, and like, and then if you meet somebody, you're like, damn, I don't want to talk to this fool.
Yeah.
But you have to, you can't just be there like all mad.
You keep that facade. You keep
Yeah.
that face. You keep that.
Hey, how you doing,
Hi.
guys? Yeah.
Does any of them tell you what they want you to dress like for an event? Like, hey, I need you to wear this, or I'm
I'ma
wearing this
send you
color.
some.
I want you to wear this color. They want to look like a real couple.
I always ask like, what's the dress? What's the attire like?
Okay.
Because most of the time, like, are you gonna have a shopping? So I have a whole bunch of shit. So
Has anyone ever requested something crazy? You're like, nah, I ain't doing it.
I got a request to wear a like tutu like dress, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
Has anybody ever just send you like, this is what I want you to wear?
They've sent me pictures of I'd like you to wear something like this.
How
They're
about
like,
has,
don't order it.
has anyone ever told you like, okay, like we're gonna go to this event, Jenna, and I want you to try to talk to this man and see if you can get something out of him?
Yes.
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
cool.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, like you know, it's like okay, like we're going in as a team. Like you know what you're here for. You know what we're
Uh-huh.
doing. Like, can you do this? Like see what
So
his angle.
you become a business partner. At that point,
Yeah.
you become a business partner
Yeah.
with this person, and he'll tell you, my goal is to meet this person, and I want you to chat them up, and then you know
See what he's about.
see what he's
Feel him
about,
out.
feel him out, put your
Hey, I
feelers
came
out.
here with him.
Yeah, and then it goes to, oh, let me, you know, he'll bring you over a drink. The guy you're with will bring you over a drink while you're talking to this person.
That's your connection.
Ah.
Wow.
And then you say, oh, this is so and so. I don't know if you've met him before.
Oh, I gotta
but
go to the bathroom now.
Yeah.
And you step away and leave them two talking.
I didn't even think of
Damn,
that.
I should do it.
That's a damn business transaction. You connected the two. You broke the ice. Like some people don't want to approach because men are not. Some men will not talk to another man like because they know you're after them because they got this
Right.
title, this business, and like I don't need you. But a woman can approach that man.
Yeah.
Yes, like I didn't.
Or even a woman can approach another woman, or become friends with his wife.
Mhm.
So that way,
Leads
y'all,
you
And that's one of the best ways.
yeah, like start talking to the wife.
You go to the bathroom, you go to the powder room, or and you're like, oh my god, you know, I got something on my dress. Like, I can't believe this. And then this woman starts talking to you, and you chat it up in the bathroom. You know the way girls are in the bathroom, and then she's like, oh, let me introduce you to my husband.
Yes.
I'm seeing dollar signs right now
And
because I'm
it was-
like you need to take note. You need to follow her, and she needs to create an ebook because I'm telling you right now,
Yeah,
those are right there where she just did. That was just natural. Like you already knew how to go about it, and I should think because you're a saleswoman, so yeah, like you're saying people are doing it wrong.
Or not only that, but you make a connection with that woman. You already have a location. Like, oh, you get Botox, girl, I get Botox too. Like, come to my shop, and then you start hearing the stories because her husband's venting to her, and then you give them back to the man that you eat. Like, that's money all day.
And then getting clients just.
Yes.
Whew.
Jenna, you need to do a internship
I
or
could
something.
do like a whole series.
Yes,
I
series.
could do a Q&A type thing.
Well, that's
One on
next.
one.
We got
Yes,
that coming up.
exactly. Sugar Baby for Dummies,
For
then
dummies.
Sugar Baby 101, and then 102. Like, for real, because it's just different. Especially because you're saying social media, you can teach them how to get the person they want, and then
And honestly, like, I don't even feel like the term sugar baby, like, I don't think
No,
I
you're not.
was one. Because to me, that word, when you say sugar baby, it kind of implies, like, sex, right? Like, that's the first thing you think of.
Yeah.
Is this person is having sex with this guy for money, for this, for that. It was never, ever like that.
It was always just business.
It was always business.
And then I think people or men that probably men and women that talk on the thread, like when we put the threads,
Yeah.
that they hate on it or don't understand it. It's kind of like because they're scared. They're scared that their man would spin on somebody else because it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth that these people would spin, and then the other men that get mad at it and that are not doing it, it's because they're insecure, because they don't have the money to spend like that.
And they
You know
can't
what I
do
mean?
it.
Yeah, because if that guy on the other end of that, which I'm not trying to put a whole comment thread, is hardworking, comes home and mad that he couldn't get the date with the guys, you're gonna have to up your game and get a better
Get a
job.
second job.
Yeah, second or third.
Or second,
fourth.
third, yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna be your,
whatever.
yeah. Or
Then
you,
he ain't gonna have time for a date. But yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like every guy would probably do it because it's just escaping. It's just escaping. Like some people don't travel for work, so you can't escape from your wife or go to a hotel room or network or whatever. You're always together. Like I enjoy being with my wife. I try to bring her from work, but there's some people that have 3, 4, 5 kids and they just don't have no silence in their head ever.
ever. So this is their silence. This is
Yeah,
their
they will
compassion.
pay for those 2 hours of silence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They will pay for you to shut the fuck up.
That's what I'm saying.
And just sit there and look nice and smile.
It's,
Enjoy the meal. Don't complain.
yeah.
But
Exactly.
it's also because it's
So-
the
so-
opposite of the wife. Like the
Yeah,
wife, it's
do-
always like you said earlier, is one way, and that's why they pay for the opposite because they don't have to deal with all the shit that the wife gives them, but they know that it's a transaction. They're gonna go and get what they pay for.
Jen, so when you're sitting there, like, have you, like, over the years, you've learned, like, there's just some stuff you don't say.
Right.
Like, what are those things? Like, there's just, like, you don't complain, you don't say nothing.
You don't talk about, pretty much, really, you don't complain. You don't nag. You don't.
Everything's beautiful. The sky's beautiful. The
The
food's
world
great.
is full of rainbows.
Yes.
And
Stars and happiness and
Yes.
smile and
yes.
yep. The world. The
So
food
it's
is
like a
delicious.
fake facade. Like
Yeah,
it's
like-
just wow.
I've been lucky that, again, all these people that I've met and been on these business, events with have been people that I've known and trusted,
Yeah.
and it was never like an awkward like type thing where we're just sitting there like looking at each other
Yeah.
or like playing with our food. It's never been like that. It's
And also because you know how to talk. Like you're in sales, so you know how to break the ice. You know how to, you know what I mean? oh, nice outfit. Are those from, whatever?
Yeah.
So I will tell you, I think the reason I became a good salesperson was because I was actually threatened in my job that if I didn't bring in a certain amount of money, I had this manager at one time, and he didn't like me. Okay, and so he put a number on my head, which means that he said, if you don't make this much money this month, you're fired.
Is
So
that
then you
legal?
start.
I don't know.
Yeah, they can in some companies like ours. If they don't make enough stats, we can write them up, and if they don't continue to progress within the 3 months, we can let them go.
Exactly, 3 months. They're talking about this month, like immediately, like you just made this rule. That I don't know.
So we had this meeting outside of the office, and it was presented to me. If you don't make this much money, at least, then you're gonna be written up, and you'll probably be let go.
Was it like a wellness center as well, or no?
It was, yes, a wellness center.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, so it was like, if you bring in this much money, we're gonna bonus you this. If you bring in this much money, we're gonna bonus you this. You bring in this, we'll bonus you this. So as a single mom, you get the life scared out of you, right? Like I was fucking scared shitless.
Yeah, because this is your money.
Because this is my life.
Yeah.
Like I had to take, at the time I only had one child. So I was like, I have to take care of my kid. Like I have to pay my rent. Like I have expenses that I have to pay for.
Yeah.
And the person that did this to me gave me these goals with the intention of me not meeting them. So it was kind of like a setup to force me to fail.
Yeah, and then what you did was
But
succeed.
I did the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I exceeded those expectations.
And what did you start doing that changed and you became good at sales?
I think I just started talking more, and because I was scared,
Mm.
I was so scared that I wasn't going to reach those numbers, that something inside me just snapped, and all of a sudden there I was
You were just doing whatever.
making quadruple what they wanted me to bring in for the month.
Jen, and do you think, at this point, do you think like you've made such good connections with these people that you became friends with? I mean, obviously they're different. That you can just depend on them at this point. Like,
Absolutely.
Like you can just call them and be like, hey, I need this, and this, and they got you.
Yeah.
If you got in a rut. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Do any of them still send you anything or?
Without talking to them.
No.
Like once you stop communication and kind of everything else stops.
Yeah. I mean, and we've never really stopped communication. It's just, hey,
It
how
kind
are
of just
you?
died out.
And we see each other. You know, you see each other out in public. You know, you go to a restaurant now and you say, hey, how are you? Like,
Do you ever feel uncomfortable, like if you see them with someone else and like, no, or do you think they feel uncomfortable?
I think they may feel uncomfortable, but
Because in their head they probably thought it was someone else.
yeah, to me,
You're like, bye.
fuck you. Like, bye. I'm on life. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but and there would be times because I made such good connections with these people that if I had a goal for myself, like at work, as far as numbers, and I was $3,000 away from hitting my personal goal, right? I could call this person and be like, hey, I have a goal for the month. I'm $3,000 away. What do you want?
Like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And they'd say, put whatever you want, sell me whatever you want, and run my card for $3,000.
And give it to someone else, or you resell it for whatever.
No, they would keep it on their account,
Oh, got
like
it.
Botox, whatever.
Do a lot of men get Botox?
A lot of men get Botox.
Wow.
I actually had someone in my inbox this week ask me, do men? It's a how do you put it? He said, I'm sorry to bother you, but like asking for a friend. Do men get Botox and fillers? Get Botox and lip filler?
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah.
So
they
going
do.
going back, Jen, to like the first time this happened to you, you said you were approached. Like it was just like, hey, you want to go? Where did you meet this person at though?
At work.
At work. Was he, I don't know. Was he a doctor?
No,
Just a client.
just a client.
Wow. It was like, hey, you want to go to dinner? You're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm not awesome, but awesome that I'm awesome because I'm just thinking like my mind's flowing because there's people that don't even like you said, like you didn't even know that was going on. Like you
Right, I didn't know that that's what it was.
Yeah.
And so it kind of threw me off at the end where I was like, oh my God.
Did I just do something else?
Am I prostitute?
Okay, so how did that work? So did y'all drive and meet up to the restaurant or the event together?
He sent a car for me.
He sent the car. Oh, that's when you knew it was real money. So he sent the car for you. The car rolled up to drop you off, and that's when he just slid you the money, or he just handed it to you.
Well, the car dropped me off at where the party was.
Mm-hmm.
He met me
Mm-hmm.
at the car, took me inside, and then he took, afterwards he took me home, and he was like, "Hey, this is for you," and I was like,
I think you were like, what's gonna happen next?
"Oh."
You're like, that's it.
And I was like, "Okay, well, have a good night."
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Oh my God.
Well, Gena, I just have so many questions. I know we're gonna have a repeat because we want to do a live one and get everything going and see. But what else?
Yeah, that's a part two, because once we put this and people are gonna comment, they're gonna have questions, and we're gonna have to come back and ask you other questions, and people probably gonna be waiting on you to write a book or do something. If you were to write a book, what would you call it?
I think if I was to write a book, I would call it "Tell Your Dad I Said Hi: Confessions of a Sugar Baby."
Tell your
I've
dad.
been thinking about that one.
She's like, I want to read it
Alright.
already.
Boom. Right? How many people would, man, because it's just like, you're
Have
within
you-
reach. It's like somebody we know that we wouldn't know, like lots of people think it's people we don't know.
But it is.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So what the dentist was one, like the most weirdest, like that you wouldn't think was like a dentist is a sugar daddy. But what so a sugar daddy to you is what? Like what when you hear the word sugar daddy, because everybody thinks like, oh, it's just some man that pays
It's
for
some
it.
old man that pays for everything, right?
Yeah.
That's what they all think. I don't think there's just a specific, you can't really define it, because it can be anybody. And it's not necessarily like, what I feel like I want to get across, and it's not about sex. Like, that's what people think, is that the relationship is based on sex, and it's not.
It's companionship. It's and I'm not trying to sell it once again, but it's companionship, and it, like I said, it's a transaction, it's a transfer of services.
That's what I'm saying. Like the smart ones, yes, like I said, there are girls that do it purely for, they will have sex, and they'll tell you up front that they're
That's
gonna
what
have sex with you for this, this, and this. But the smart ones,
Will brain fuck you.
yes.
And what has been the youngest?
The youngest,
Because everybody got money nowadays.
Yeah.
so my personal taste is I don't like anybody younger than like 15 years older than me.
That's what you stay at. That's what
Yeah.
you like.
So if they were to ask you for a date, you just be like, yeah.
Mm-mm.
So okay,
No
so you
little
kept
boy.
it at that.
No little boy.
Even if you have like, so you see, like, even if you have money, you're just like, no, I just don't have any
Yeah,
connection with
that's
you.
just.
Weird.
And I feel like to do something like that, you have to have a connection with that person. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're that girl that doesn't care and it's just doing it for the sex and the money, then they're
So
gonna take anybody, right?
You were saying you have friends that do it. Do you have friends that because you work, but do you have friends that solely just do this?
Yes.
Like 100%. They just live it up and just chilling at home, texting, meeting on dates, eating steaks, and I want that.
She said eating steak. Steak and
Steak
shrimp,
is the
lobster.
important part. Okay?
Yeah, steak.
That
I love
is
like
the
lobster.
most important part. I will say, I guess I do have a weird story, but it's not my story.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what
It happened to me. I witnessed it. So I was working at this place, and my friend comes in, and she is a full-on sugar baby, and I mean to the max, right? And she comes in, and she's like, yeah, like I'm late on my rent, and I'm short $500, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, like that sucks. Like,
She's like, that's it.
sorry. So my boss is there, who is a male. She's just sitting there with me at the front desk, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta go do this consult now. And so I take my client back, working on his consultation, and I come out and I can't find my friend. And I went into my boss's office and I tried to open the door because he needed to see this patient. And
The door didn't open.
the door was locked, but not fully locked. And I walked in on something I shouldn't have. And so I quickly shut the door and I ran away, right? I'm like, ah!
Like, why did
Like,
I see that?
and
Fuck, got
the next thing I know, my boss comes out and he's like, I need you to get the petty cash out and I need $500. And I'm like, okay, well, I need a receipt because, you know,
it gets counted for.
Working, you never take out a petty cash without putting in a receipt for, you know, what you took the money for.
I thought you were going to say it, but what about the rent though?
So I take out the $500. He says, don't record this. I said, okay. I gave him the $500. And stupidly enough, I left my car at another office, right? And he was like, oh, you can go home for the day. And I was like, okay. Well, the only way for me to go home was to catch a ride with my friend, right? To go pick up my car. So we get in the car and we both get in, strap in our seatbelt. We're like, and I go,
yeah.
so what did I just walk in on? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And you're like, you did that for $500?
Yeah.
I get steak for $6 and that's all that I need to do. Right?
I was like, what did you just do? What did I walk in on? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she takes the $500 and she leaves it like in her console.
Like nothing.
Like
was
nothing.
It for rent?
Did
for her, it was for her rent.
Oh no.
I thought maybe she threw it there like it wasn't really for that.
So did she go, when she was talking to you and said, hey, I'm late on my rent and I need $500, was he there?
He was overhearing. He was there, but he wasn't he wasn't at the front with me. She was telling me, and the door to like his office was open.
And he just came out and been like,
and yeah.
Like I got them $500.
Well, when I took my client back, I guess he approached her and.
or she approached him.
Did they ever do that again?
I don't know because I shortly left thereafter. Because shortly after that, this person was known for just not being a good person, right? Like first,
the friend or the owner?
Both.
Oh, damn.
But the owner, mostly. Honestly, I feel like it was a place I should have never worked at to begin with. There were lots of signs, but at the time, I just really wanted to get out of the job that I was at. And God, it was when a wife calls you on a Saturday morning at 7 a.m. and says, "Is my husband with you?"
Oh wow.
You're like, I don't know where you're
And I'm like, I don't know.
She's never going
on your personal phone?
On your personal phone.
What the hell?
And you're like, no, but I'm supposed to be at work in 3 hours. Like, let him know you're looking for him. And she says, well, he didn't come home last night.
But why would
Okay, number one, why would you automatically assume your husband is with me?
Yeah.
Like, that was a red flag.
$500 rent, girl.
So then, I get to work, and I'm, like, looking at my boss, and I'm like, do you want to tell me why I got a phone call from your wife at 7 a.m.?
Yeah.
Looking for you? He's like, oh, it's because I didn't go home last night, and, like, I told her that you and I had gone out for drinks, like, afterwards. I was like, do not ever do that to me again.
Already using your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
You should have charged him $500 for that.
I fucking wish I would have.
Yeah.
Because.
To be your cover up.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
And the sad part is, I said, if you want me to cover for you, then you need to tell me the story.
And
Like,
yeah.
I need to know. You need to let me in. I will cover for you, but let me in on these
I
stories
wouldn't answer.
and increase my pay.
Yeah.
I will cover for you, no problem, but I need to know the whole story. Like, if you're not gonna go home, you need to be like, hey, I'm not going home. I'm gonna need you to say that this is where you saw me, this is where I was, and this is what happened.
This is where it ended.
I'll cover for you.
The fact that the wife was cool of him, like, saying that.
And
Go with
first, I'm
another
like,
girl.
how did she get your cell phone?
So it was a company that they kind of worked together.
Okay.
Yeah. So she had technically I was an employee of both people.
So that's why she was cool. Like if y'all went to drink and maybe he got too drunk, but it was
Yeah.
just like, okay.
Why would you take him home?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take him home to your house,
I'm
not to my
like-
house.
Did you ever find out who he went home with?
Yeah.
With the
He-
$500 ring?
No.
Oh.
He says that he was like, oh, I just got super drunk and I was with my friend and I stayed at his house.
Hey, I wouldn't. It happened to me once, and
How did you recover from that one?
Tell us
I
a
wasn't
true
even
story.
scared.
We
I wasn't
can
even
cut
scared of my wife.
Because you
We
knew what
lived
happened.
we lived separate.
Oh.
No, she lived in like Austin or whatever, and I lived here. I was more scared of my dad because I had just gotten out, and he called my best friend and said, "Where the f is Chris?" Or whatever. And he's like, she's throwing up right now, whatever. She's gonna stay at my house." And I said, "No, she better go home." And like, I was like, I gotta drive home, best friend. Like, I gotta drive home,
gotta
like,
stay
because
here.
he didn't.
All fucked up.
He didn't allow a girl does not come home.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like scared.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the first time, and I was like 22. I was like,
I am
Drunk already,
35
no.
and still scared of my father.
yeah,
Like,
I
I am deathly afraid.
was scared because he said, "You don't play like that. You just got out. You're on probation." Like, he was just mad. Like, if you're not gonna live here and be on the rules, because I had to be like home confined and stuff. So it was more to it, but still, even if I wasn't on probation, it was like, you don't play. If you live in this home, you follow my rules, kind of stuff. And I was scared. I'm like, I got to go. And that
I
was
just opened my eyes.
yeah. I was like, and that was before Uber because my best friend was like, he's like, I'll take you home. We'll come back for your car tomorrow. I said, I gotta go in my car.
He was real mad.
Yeah. I got in so much trouble, but I get it.
Yeah.
So he could have been with his friend, is what I was trying to say.
You could have.
So you're
You're
covering
very
for
right.
it.
You're very right. I do not know. I do know that shortly thereafter, I was let go.
It was your fault.
Damn, after you covered for him? Dirty.
Well, no, I didn't cover for him, so that was the problem.
That's all I'm
You should
saying.
have snitched on him.
Because I said, that's what I did. That's why I let go.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah. Because I was like, at the end of the day, she signs my paychecks.
She what?
She would sign my paychecks.
Oh.
Like, it was like an umbrella thing, right? So, like, she would sign my paychecks.
But it's kind of like a homegirl that you're telling your wife cheating on you. They're gonna be mad at you, not at him.
Right.
So you was like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth, homegirl. I'm on your side, and then they let you go,
Yeah.
and her man's still doing what he's doing.
Because she
Exactly.
was still allowing it, because she was like calling you all cool, like, hey, did my husband go home with you?
Yeah.
So she was gonna, whether he was doing wrong or not, she was
And
still on
I
his
was
side.
like, at that point, that's when I realized, and I was like, all right, well, you know what? Last Friday, your husband did not come to work at all. And I heard that he was at the strip club all day.
Dang it.
So you gonna let me go? I'm gonna tell you the whole story, sister. We're gonna sit here, and I will tell you every single thing that
She
I
broke her
witnessed.
heart.
And she probably still with them, right?
They still in business, and he's still off on Fridays. Networking.
Networking.
Because
Oh,
strippers need lipo
I
too.
did hear that shortly thereafter, he would take her, the $500 girl, he would take her to networking events.
Oh.
Not the $500.
The $500
And she
girl.
probably did it for 300 the next time.
Okay, she's like, oh, I'm gonna do nothing but eat. Okay, I'll do it $250.
Mm-hmm.
But he
Know
worked,
your
he
worth.
worked. He worked there too.
He was the owner.
Ah. But she was the
Him
doctor.
and his wife.
Got it.
She probably ended up getting like free Botox and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Cool.
Whew, I can keep going,
And
but
going
my
and going.
stomach is growling.
I know, and I don't know, I got all these questions, but I don't know where to start. But
Cece
I
wants
think
a steak.
That's for episode 2.
I know you.
if there's anybody out there who wants to take a married woman, no,
Joe, you must think Joel's not gonna see this.
it's like you could edit. You said and cut. Why?
But now you're giving me more work to do. Yeah, it's just so interesting.
I mean, I could go into so many details. Like I always say, I could write a book on my life. Like it's just about like the ridiculous things that have happened in
Yes.
my life. Like so, like my daughter's father. That is a fucking crazy ass story. So he apparently was having extra relations with someone at work. And this girl like started messaging me on Facebook.
So I was gonna ask you. So like you were in a relationship with. So did you knock it off right away? Like you knew the signs,
Yeah, no, I knew the signs.
like right off the bat. 'Cause
Yeah.
you were like, I know this. Like I know what's going on. You don't gotta tell. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So this girl, but she was messaging me as a guy. Like she was pretending to be a guy who was obsessed with me. And it was really weird because I had been on like a business trip in Dallas, and so like that Monday morning, no, it was a Sunday morning, I woke up to this message, and it was like, my name is so and so. I've been in love with you for such a long time. I just want you to know that your husband's cheating on you, your boyfriend's cheating on you, and don't worry. Like, I attacked the girl that he's cheating on you with, and I was like, and so like I was scared, and I thought that this person had actually attacked someone, and so I like asked him like,
Are you having an affair?
are you having an affair? And the funny part is, the guy didn't say the girl's name, but in my mind, I knew exactly who it was. Like, I
Intuition already.
Intuition. I had this feeling like I knew who it was. So I asked him, and he was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And stupid me was like, you should call her, like, to make sure she's okay. Like, what if this is real? Like, what if he really did attack her? And so he does. He gets in contact with her. And she's like, I'm in the hospital. I have a broken rib. I was attacked last night. Blah, blah, blah. And so then I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I'm in danger.
Yeah.
And so then this girl's like, but don't worry. We have people watching, you know, you and your family to keep y'all safe in case this person comes back. I mean, it turned into this whole fucking story that
That's
she...
book number 2.
Yes. This is...
I'm gonna ask our audience.
I know.
Like, this girl went so far, like, she took this story so far.
She had you believing it.
Yes, that she ended it with, I killed the guy.
La madre, what the pinche
Okay.
novela?
You're like, please do
And I
not
was
record
like,
because you can get you for
what?
conspiracy.
I was like, what? You killed the, what? She was like, but the police are saying it's okay, but his family's trying to come after me for using excessive force. And I'm like, what?
First of all, why are they getting in the inboxes? Like, know your space. Like if,
your lane.
if
You know where you're at.
Woman number 2, 3, know your spot.
So do you know?
They never know the number
Do you
2.
know any women
No.
that are like that? Like, cause you know, you said you know people that are in that industry and stuff. So do you know women that are like that? They're like, if you don't give me this, I'm gonna do this.
Absolutely.
That's
Say
exactly
blackmail them.
They don't.
So I think they give the whole thing a bad name, because like there's people like you are like whatever it is, what it is, you know, I already know. And then there's people that are like, no, like I'm gonna play till the end. Like I want this. Like you open that door, and I think that's why a lot of men stop themselves from doing this because of that.
And then she started, or what did she say, 10, 11 years ago? That's barely when the internet became. Now you can't get away with nothing. Like,
Like,
if you were to honestly have had feelings with one of those, you could have just got it. You could have just Googled his name, found the spouse, or looked up DCAT or whatever the Central
See
Appraisal
where he-
District, see what he owns, go to the house. Like,
everything.
nobody's safe.
Yeah, no one's safe.
Yeah.
You could just be like just the other day, I think I saw it on TikTok. The guy was out with his business partner. It was a woman that he was meeting, like real estate something, and it was an innocent thing, but they put it on TikTok like they were having this whole affair. It went viral. Like people were inboxing her husband, and like they were both like they had to like bring it to like we were just having dinner. It was nothing.
Have you seen the ones that are like, the TikToks that are like, if your name is
Yes.
Brenda and you have a boyfriend, Brandon, that was on a business trip in Phoenix, Arizona, and blah, 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 just so you know, he was cheating on you the whole time he was here.
Yeah.
Like,
They're calling them out.
they're calling him out now.
Yeah.
Wow. There's that Uber driver. Did you read that? I think it was in Dallas.
Tell us the story.
She was an Uber driver, and she said she picked up a guy. He kissed his family goodbye. He said, "Hey, I'm adding a stop," and they added a stop, and takes the Uber driver takes him to pick up his sancha, and then puts him in the car. And the next stop is a hotel. She fucking came the other way
The
and
Uber
dropped them
snitched.
both off at the home address. And she
No
said, not up in here.
shit.
And she went viral. She said, I'm letting y'all know, if y'all doing this shit and your whole family, you're using me, I'm gonna let y'all know. Or
So
whatever.
She
she
lost
just
her job.
dropped him off, or
She
did
left
she like?
the sunshine and the man at his family's house.
And she
But
was
they
born-
got
But did the family get out? Like, did the family?
Yeah,
That's what I want to know.
What happened? What is her
It
handle?
was just a
Did you go to the comments to see if there's another video?
Is there
No.
a part 2? What is her? What is her name on
It's called
TikTok?
Dallas TV Live. Like we have like a Dallas news.
That's crazy.
And so on Instagram it goes like so big. Like anything that happens in Dallas, like they get it first. And she was on there, she posted, and then they reposted where I was like,
But did she get fired for that? Because you
Yeah,
can't.
she threw it all away for that.
no, she said,
I would've jumped
she
out
said
for
she
that.
is an entrepreneur. She said, I am an
You know what?
entrepreneur,
I
so my boss
hope
can't.
that
Or
she
cheaters.
pulled up to that house
And the
like
wife was outside.
honking.
Exactly, because
like,
they could have just scrammed and then called another one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I would have. But maybe she pulled up like the garage, like
That's
right
what I'm saying.
there.
She pulled up
What
to
if it
that
was
garage.
staged?
She was honking.
Everybody got cameras nowadays.
I would have got out before though. If
At the stoplight. I was at the
I would
station
have been
stoplight
like,
and
this,
jumped out.
we're going the
They were
wrong
too
direction.
busy.
But do you think?
Smooching, she
I was
said.
gonna say, do you think
Oh,
that they
they
were in the
realized.
back, like too busy?
Yeah, that's
That's what she said. They
to
were too
where
busy.
they're
They couldn't even
going.
get to the hotel room. She said they're all smooching. She busted that shit. She just said she went back. She went over there. Boom. Yeah.
Not
That's
today,
gotcha.
Satan.
Exactly. And no, it wasn't rigged or nothing. She was for real on there, and she was still in her little car and stuff. And she said, if you're cheating, not in my car. I
I
don't
never
play
looked
that.
that up.
Yeah, for real. It was cool.
But I need to know what happened to part
It's a
two.
white
Like,
lady,
did the
yeah.
wife come out? Did-
That's what
I
I want to
don't-
know.
Did she make a
Was the
scene?
family there?
Like she could make her own little video
Show,
and
yeah.
like, hey, are they together? Do you know them?
That's what I'm saying. So people are going around doing that.
If she is listening, I would like her to join in and follow us on our next podcast.
Yes.
Because I need some details.
Exactly. Because that stuff just interests me. Like, how did it end up? Like, you kissed your wife and your kid with that mouth, and immediately it's on somebody else's mouth.
I don't think they
But
did.
some people
Sir,
can
sir,
hide
did
a
you,
double
did
life
you
for a
put a
very
piece
long
of gum
time.
or a mint before you did that?
Probably not. He probably didn't wash his ass out.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to know about all
no,
that.
it's
It's
just
just
much too much. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely, we got to do a part 2 of this. We got to continue it, and we got to go into more detail. We're gonna let everybody know what's gonna be coming up, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, let us know who you want us to interview. Our podcast it's called We Got Preguntas, because basically we're interested in anybody. Everybody has a story, a life.
I think it's preguntas, pero
Yes, good.
It's whatever, but they
It's
know
good
what I'm,
and
you know what I'm talking about. I got questions, okay?
Or you see that, Chris, where they're like, you know what I'm talking about? They know be an asshole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we thank you so much for your time.
You are very welcome.
And
And
we
I
appreciate
would love to answer anybody's questions.
And how can they follow you?
So you can find me on social media under at the Gena Jameson, TheGena Jameson _.
Thank you for spelling it, because nowadays you don't know.
Ain't nobody's
Yeah,
So
no.
let me get that real quick.
Yeah, and we'll tag you. And hey, if they got questions, you do what you do. But I'm all about business. If somebody wants your opinions on how to start their own business, I would set up a Venmo, a Cash App, a Zelle, because
21 questions.
well, they say
You get
knowledge is
you
the new
get
currency.
you get 10 questions for $100, and
There
I
you
will
go.
guide you. You want 10 more questions? It's $125.
There you go.
And if you're trying to get in her old ways, the price has changed. The price is not yesterday's price.
No,
Okay?
it is not.
All
All
right.
right. We'll see y'all next week.
Have a good one.
Bye.